Hello and welcome to another episode of the Rocky Sports Talk Sheet. Today we are going to be talking about the NBA playoffs quite a bit. That is the big news in the sports world right now. We are also going to hit on how yet again um, the Philadelphia 76ers with Embiid and Ben Simmons just can never get out of the Eastern Conference. I've said it in my last videos. I thought that they would win this series, but then lose the next one. I said it would be a tight game, very close game, back and forth. It was. But Horder, I hopefully I said his name right. Horder uh, was the big player for the Hawks today with his huge 27 points. Um, and yeah, Capella. Yeah, he did. He did his thing. He had like 13, and Collins. Pretty sure he had like 14, something like that. Um, and Young, he Trey Young. He's okay, but I mean, from the free throw line, that's about it. Because he had an awful shooting game today. Like the 76ers had the chance to basically win this game. I mean, whenever you get Trey Young shooting 5 for 23 from the field, 2 for 11 from three. Yes, he was 9 for 11 from free throw line. He had almost half his points from the free throw line of his 21. Like I said, Herder, he went 10 of 18, 2 for 4 from three. He also went 5 for 7 from the free throw line, and he had the 27 points. Collins, 5 for 6, 14 points, but a huge 16 rebounds. Just it. Trey Young had, in my opinion, probably one of the weakest double doubles. Yeah, you had 10 assists, but man, you had 21 and 10. Good for you. But on 5 of 28 shooting, it's just horrendous. And like I said, what have I said? That the 76ers won't go anywhere, won't ever be in the NBA Finals until they do something, about Ben Simmons. He's a great defender, don't get me wrong. But in today's basketball, you have to be able to shoot at the guard position. Good for you with your 13 assists and 8 rebounds. Good for you. But with your 5 weak ass points, Ben Simmons. Good job. Good job. So that's the issue. The fucker can't shoot. He just can't shoot from anywhere. And you lost the series. If Ben Simmons could have shot, they would have won the series. They would have won today's game, losing by 7 to the Hawks. It's Embiid, another great performance, just another great game, but it's just wasted. Even Tobias Harris had a good game. Not the greatest percentage-wise from the field. He was 8 of 24. He had all 6 of his free throws. He had 24 points, but 14 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. I mean, Embiid, 31 points, 11 to 21 from the field. He even went 2 for 5 from threes, 7 for 10 from the free throw line. Had 11 rebounds. But it's just, I mean, Seth Curry, 6 for 10 from the field with 16 points. I mean, it's the same thing every year. Until you realize that Ben Simmons is the weak point on this team, you'll never advance to the finals. You just won't, 76ers. This should, man. I mean, like I said, Trey Young had the weakest double double. The star of the Hawks, like just atrocious shooting. and he still couldn't pull it out. Still couldn't pull it out. I mean, Bogdanovich, 4 points for him, 2 for 8. I mean, it's not. They didn't have the greatest. It's just weak. It's weak. Pretty weak. Gallinari stepped up for the Hawks. He went 6 for 13, 3 for 7 from the 3-point land, 17 points. Pretty solid stat line off the bench. He had 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and still. I don't know when the 76ers are going to learn. I don't get it. Like I said, amazing defender is Ben Simmons. And he can pass the ball really, really well. But that's about it. That is about it. So, I'm just not shocked. I'm really not. I'm not shocked at all if they choke, because that's what they do. The Philadelphia 76ers choke in the playoffs every year. So now we got this. Honestly, this is the weakest Final Four in the NBA playoffs in a very long time. I mean, it's pretty weak. You got the Suns. Okay, good story, great story. Actually, I'm not knocking them. Great story, great year. Good for you guys. You had the hurt Nets. They got hurt at the worst time. The Bucks series. They lose 4 games to 3 in overtime. They lose in a very good game, a back and forth game to the Bucks. So now it's the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Atlanta Hawks. What? In the Eastern Conference Final? The Atlanta Hawks, people. Okay, you're fucking lying. If we started this season and y'all said, yeah, Atlanta Hawks are going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals, you're fucking lying if you said that. You're flat out lying. Don't even bring that hogwash here. The Sixers choked. They flat out choked. And you should blame yourself from the other night when y'all had a huge lead and choked it. So I'm going to just enjoy my blueberry Moscato wine here while 76ers are going home wondering what the fuck went wrong and realize that they can get a good defending point guard that can also shoot and have that as your point guard and also defend. Not as good as Ben Simmons probably on the defensive end, but can shoot to go along with Embiid and Harris and the players that they have on the 76ers, and I guarantee you next year. Let me put it this way. What do you think? Let me give you an example. Okay. Do you think the 76ers, and y'all welcome to enter the chat. You all really think the 76ers are going ever to the NBA Finals with this current team? Like I've said for years, they will not. But I tell you what, swap out Ben Simmons. Take him off that team. Plug in, let's pick a random point guard. Plug in CP3 with Embiid and the rest of that roster. We've seen what he done with the Suns this year. The Suns, all they were really missing with Devin Booker and Ayton was a true leader and a true leader that can distribute and know where to put the ball. CP3 is that. Not saying Ben Simmons can't. He's good too. Difference is, unlike Ben Simmons 5 foot beyond from the basket that can't hit a dime or can't hit anything. Chris Paul is one of the best. You ain't got to have a 3-point shooter, but he is one of the best mid-range shooting guards in the league, and has been for years, basically since he's been in the NBA. That dude can shoot from anywhere inside, anywhere from 5 feet to all the way. He can hit. He shoots 3 too, but he's a master of the mid range. Is CP3, and he would be able to shoot with way more accuracy. And that's the thing. See, it's not. Yes, Ben Simmons brings defense. I get it. Defense wins championships, but you also got to put up more points than the other team. So whenever other starters are struggling, and Ben Simmons is forced to step up, he can't do it because he can't fucking do it. But guess what? Guess what? Other guards like CP3 or something like that, they can't. If Embiid's having a rough day, CP3, he can shoot. Hell, why you wouldn't have just kept? I would have had Steph Curry on the court, or you get a shooting point guard. I understand that he's tall and he can do a lot with the ball as a point guard, but in today's NBA and how it's changed from shooting is key. You can't have a point guard like Ben Simmons and go to the finals and have him basically distributing the ball. Because, yes, a point guard is a distributor, but they also can shoot, and they also know when to pick theirs. And Ben Simmons, all he can do is attack the basket, and that's it. That is it. I mean, people, go look up his free throws this whole postseason. He shot worse from the free throw line than one named Shaquille O'Neal, man. Tell me that's not pathetic for a point guard. That is straight up pathetic. I'm glad you got some defense, but also I've seen you on a lot of occasions, Ben Simmons, get fucking schooled and get torched, and your guys going off on your ass too. So it ain't like you're this unstoppable defensive beast. No. A lot of games in the playoffs, whenever it matters most, you can't even score shit, and the guy that you're guarding, it goes off. You can't have that. You just can't. So you all deserve to lose this series. The Hawks deserve to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. As weird as that sounds, the Atlanta Hawks are in the Eastern Conference Finals. It's weird, but it is what it is. This is the worst NBA playoffs I've seen in over a decade. This is very boring. The best teams have not made it. It's a bad year. Way too many injuries to key players at the worst moments in the playoffs. It's just like this year was just grab what money we can so we don't lose a lot of money and fuck whatever happens to our athletes. Because there's so many big name stars that got just jacked up all year long. And the product that was out there all season long was straight. It's the worst in over a decade. So good job, NBA. You have your conference finals, and they're complete garbage. Like, they are garbage. I think the only team that legitimately, in my opinion, probably if we had to start a regular before the season started, a regular season, we kind of picked them. The one that I would say makes sense to be there out of all of them is the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, the Clippers, no. If they would have had a full season and all that stuff, I just no. And by the way, they lost game 1 today. And they can't say, oh, our key player was out. Well, CP3 was out. Kawhi may have been out, but on the other team, Chris Paul was out. So it evened out, and the Suns beat them in a close one, 121-14. So the Suns lead the Western Conference Finals, one game nil. And I'm going to go ahead and say it. If CP3 is back in by game 3, um, like I said yesterday's video, I said I have to wait and see because if Chris Paul could have came back in like game 2, and for the rest of the series, I would have took the Suns. I gotta wait until I see when Chris Paul comes back or Kawhi before I can decide. Game 3, I will decide who I'm picking for the series, but a lot has happened that's hoped me from making my decision because if Chris Paul plays this whole series, I would have picked the Suns flat out. I would have picked the Suns in no more than 6. It wouldn't have never even touched game 7. I don't think Kawhi is going to be able to play. I think, like I said, from what it sounds like, Kawhi needs surgery, possibly this offseason or right now, probably. But, you can push it. Go ahead, Clippers. Do what Golden State did with Durant and watch what happens. But, hey, I'm not your training staff or anything like that. So, like I said, and it's kind of sad, as much as load management as fucking Kawhi Leonard does, it's quite pathetic. But hey, you're hurt. You're hurt. Wish you nothing but the best. But man, you just, dude, I don't understand this. The Clippers, I never can understand them. But I'm actually, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say it now. I'm gonna take the Phoenix Suns, not the Clippers in this series, because I do think that by game 3, I just feel like CP3 has to be back on the court. Like he already before he caught COVID, he was vaccinated, him and his family. So I think that he'll be able to come back faster being somebody that was vaccinated. So I'm going to go on a whim and say that he's back by game 3 and the Suns win this series. So no Kawhi, and I don't care. Paul George, I still don't trust you. I don't trust you to lead this team to the NBA Finals. You've never done it in your career, and you choked way too many times in the postseason. So your resume up to this point shows and tells me that you can't lead a team to the promised land. So I'm going to take the Suns because I don't trust Paul George to lead them there. Till it happens, I'm sticking to it. Bucks, Hawks, Bucks. That's it. Milwaukee is actually going to make it to the NBA Finals, which I am shocked and surprised by, because if the Nets were healthy, they would have steamed through. They would have steamrolled the Bucks in no more than 6 games. They would have. They would have beat the Bucks in 6. I'm telling you, with a fully healthy team, start to finish in that series, they would have steamrolled in no worse than 6, probably 5. But because the Nets were never healthy in this series, that was crucial. That was crucial. Now, I will say next year, going into next year, if the Nets keep everybody, the Nets are probably coming out of the East next year. They didn't this year due to injuries and health and stuff like that. But next year, they will be. They're coming out of the East. Bar series in bar. I'm just saying. Key thing is stay healthy next year in the postseason. But if they're healthy, Nobody's stopping them from making it to the NBA Finals next year and probably winning it. Now, like I said, I'm telling you right now, Philadelphia 76er fans, Ben Simmons fans, Joel Embiid fans, you all losing this series to the Hawks shows your deficiencies once and for all in the postseason. You have to build around Joel Embiid. You need to trade Ben Simmons. There needs to be a point of whose locker room and whose team it is. I know you're getting rid of a good player, but in a trade, you best well believe you can get a damn good player in return. So, and it probably could be a damn good shooter. That's the way to go. Keep keep Harris, keep Embiid, build around it, and get another shooter a point, and maybe another shooter. And this 76ers team could put up a fight against the Nets next year. I guarantee you they'll be a top 2 seed in the East if they do this. And legitimate contenders next year. So you all do, you're going to get knocked out. Even if you're a top 2 seed every year in the Eastern Conference, you won't make it to an NBA Finals with Ben Simmons. You can with Embiid, but not with Simmons. Please, someone realize this. Because, like I said, to lose to this Hawks team, it's downright pathetic. It's pathetic. As good as you all have the 76ers should be, it's pathetic. It's just fucking pathetic. So, there you have it. Hawks, Bucks, Suns, Clippers, down to the Final Four. And the best teams did not make it, in my opinion. They just didn't. There was a lot of, like I said, this year the season was rushed. They had no rest. And this was a bogus season in the NBA because so many good players. We lost so many good players to injuries way too often this year. And it was just a rushed product just to make money due to COVID. Whenever the NBA still has billions of dollars and stuff and they act like they're broke. They acted like they were broke and rushed this season and had to force it and do all this bullshit. You fucked your own product up. And your ratings were the lowest it's been in fucking a while because you did so. So that's on you, NBA. That's on your commissioner. That's on your NBA Players Association. That's on everybody. You all got in your own way. So good for you. You pulled out a crappy product. Thank you. That's what we wanted to see. That's what the fans want to see. You know who won't pull out a crappy product this year and is doing things kind of right? It's the NFL. The NFL is going to have a really good season, I think, this year. They're probably going to have the best sporting season during COVID this year. It's going to be the NFL. And I can't wait for the fucking NFL to start. Yes, I'm hopeful. I'm not betting, but I'm hopeful that my Cowboys defense will be. They have to be better than what they were last year because defensively they were one of the worst I've ever seen. But I just hope that my Cowboys can at least go like 10-7 to make the playoffs. I think they'll win the NFC East, but I don't think it's going to be as easy as some people think. So yeah, Uh, I just, man, I don't know. Um, just, I'm not impressed with the playoffs, to be honest. That's the main thing. Now, let's get into football. I'm still waiting to hear more about the. I'm waiting for the Packers to have some kind of idea with this Aaron Rodgers thing. It's got to break down at some point. I'm waiting for the news to break because I really think at some point in the next up to no more than 2 months from now, before the season starts, he's getting traded. I'm just waiting to hear where because I'm sure he is getting traded. There cannot be this much smack talk and he'll stay. So I just I don't know. We can get on since we are on the NFL. Who do y'all think is going to be the biggest threat to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers from them repeating? My opinion, I'm going to give you all 4 teams from each conference. So it's going to be a total of like 8 teams that could stop the repeat. Tom Brady from getting his 8th championship and from the Bucks repeating as champions. I'm going to start in order, which I think they're most dangerous. So 8 being, the 8th best team to beat them, all the way to 1 being the best chance, the best chance, the biggest, the best chance to beat them for the Super Bowl. I'm going to start off at number 8, and I'm going to say Seattle Seahawks. Yeah, you got Russell Wilson back, and you have some weapons there and stuff, and DJ Metcalf. And you have a good receiving core. Offensively, you can put it up, but also your defense has a lot of holes as well. In that secondary, it's you ain't got the the Legion. You ain't got that defense you had years ago. The Legion of Boom is not there. It's more of the Legion of give up touchdowns. um, that secondary, there's a reason why it was such a close game and a shootout between them and Dallas because both secondaries were god awful. Now, I do like the your quarterback situation, but also I just at key spots. I don't think that there's key positions they still got to improve on, honestly. Um, but I would say that's number 8. Um, number 7, I'm gonna. Here's the thing. I wanted to put a team in there, but because I think he's going to get traded, the Packers are not going to be in there because I think, in my opinion, at some point, Aaron Rodgers is getting traded or he's going to sit out for the season. I don't think he plays it down for the Packers this year. And with that being said, they're no longer a threat. It's a rookie quarterback. He's going to have a rookie quarterback year if he does play all year for the Packers. And he ain't beating Tom Brady in the playoffs when it matters most. I just don't think that. So I'm taking the Packers out just because I think Aaron Rodgers is not going to play or he's going to be traded. I just don't think he's going to play on the field for the Packers this year. I will say, to take the Packers spot at number 7, I would say the LA Rams. I love what they did at quarterback. They got an accurate quarterback. They have weapons on offense, and they have a good defense. The offense and defense, they got great players. And now they have a quarterback who spent his whole career up to this point on a crappy Detroit Lions team. But I'll tell you what, Matthew Stafford can sling that ball anywhere, all day, any day of the week. That is a huge upgrade from Goff. I'm telling you. From a quarterback standpoint, he is an upgrade to the Rams than Jared Goff. So the Rams are going to be better, and you best believe the Bucs don't want to meet the Rams in the playoffs. Now, this is not because I'm just a fan. I even think the opening game is going to showcase that this is not going to be a fluke on what I'm about to say. But I seriously do believe my Dallas Cowboys are at number 6. And I think they're a threat to Tampa. Because from what I'm hearing, they're going back and they're not trying to force all this new knowledge that they tried to force on the defense last year. For the defense, basically was learning a whole new weird terminology and had no clue where they were supposed to be lined up or even at half the time they were playing these games. Hence why the defense coordinator got fired. I think they're going to go back to what they know, and I love the additions that we added on defense. A lot of people are sleeping on some of the picks that we made, but I am here to tell you, yes, Parsons, obviously, our first-round pick at number 12, is going to be a stud, obviously. I think Landry is going to be healthy this year. I think he's going to play the whole year, and I think he's got something to prove. I'm not so worried about Jalen Smith because if he plays like crap, Parsons will take up, and I think he will. I think he's going to be up for Rookie of the Year, and I think he might even get Defensive Rookie of the Year. He is a distributor. He can rush the passer. He can run with receivers and tight ends. He can do a lot of different things. He is a hell of a run stopper too. He reminds me a lot of Ray Lewis, and that's scary. I know it's his rookie year, but that is scary that you have a lot of traits like Ray Lewis. And I love what we got later on. The two, if y'all remember in college football, not this past college football season, but the year before that, Kentucky at UK is not known for football. Hasn't been for a long time. A couple years ago, they had one of the best defenses. Like, they took serious teams down to the wire and would not let them score. Like, they didn't even hit 20 points to beat them. I'm talking about Georgia. I'm talking about good. The top tier SEC teams had a very, very tough time scoring on them. And we got the 2 best defenders from Kentucky. I'm telling you, that 3rd and 4th round pick, both of them are very end first to mid second round talent. We got a lot of first and second round talent. Our first 4 picks could easily be top 30, top 40 in the entire draft. I love what we did. I think our defense is going to be way better. I think we'll even go from ranked 30, 31st, or 32nd to middle of the pack. With a middle of the pack defense, with Dak Prescott and those receivers and that offense, when we know they can put up points, if you have a middle of the pack defense to go with that offense, they can put up 35 plus any game. That's a danger to the Bucs. So I'm putting Dallas in there because I really truly believe that we can be a danger to them. Is Dallas winning the Super Bowl this year? Hell no. I'm a realistic fan. I don't think my team is even gonna sniff the Super Bowl. But do I think in a second round could we sneak into the NFC Championship game and maybe get flat out beat out? Yeah. Could we knock off the Bucks before that in the first or second round? Yes. I'm not confident. I was kind of hoping that people were sleeping on some of those Kentucky defensive players. Some of them opted out. They were good. They were great defensive picks, and I think our defense is definitely gonna be a big upgrade. Um, the last NFC team that I see as a huge threat, believe this or not, I know this sounds weird. I know this sounds weird, but even if they get in as a wild card, do y'all remember what they did with the third string quarterback? The Buccaneers' closest game and all of their last playoff run, really, and the biggest scare, truly, to me, was the Washington Redskins left behind. I mean, they almost beat the Buccaneers in the wild card game. Because I will say this, I can't stand the Redskins, but their defense is flat out legit. And obviously, look, I know he has up and down games, but compared to the quarterbacks they had last year, who's now pretty much not even on an NFL roster. I mean, he is, but he's not even going to be a starter anymore. In that joke from Ohio State of a quarterback, in Haskins, um, you got to upgrade. The quarterback, it's not the greatest upgrade, but it's a huge upgrade from Haskins and the quarterbacks they had last year. I mean, we all know that that specific quarterback can have a 4 touchdown game or a 2 interception or a bad game. I get it, but if he has one of those magic games, a Fitz magic game in the playoffs against the Bucks, he's winning behind that defense. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of crazy. You don't know what you're going to get with Fitz magic. But if it's Fitz magic that shows up against them in the playoffs, led by that defense, I'm telling you, the Redskins, you ain't going to score that much on the Redskins with that defense. And if Fitzmagic puts on a Fitzmagic performance, even though you got Tom Brady, it's almost going to remind you of like the Super Bowl with Nick Foles. They're going to lose. I mean, he's beat Tom Brady on every team, even in his own division, pretty much. He played with the Jets. He played with the Dolphins and beat them. Made him have to play his first wildcard game in a very long time. Because week 17, he brought the Dolphins back and pulled Fitzmagic out of his ass and beat the Patriots his last year with the Patriots. So Fitzmagic can do it. Now the 4 AFC teams in order. You all may not agree. I think there's a sleeper team out there, and I'm putting them in the top 4 here, because I think they're going to be the receiving end of a trade for Aaron Rodgers. I've been saying it on this channel. When it's all the dust is settled, John Elway is going to do what he did with Peyton Manning. He's going to find a way, and he's going to get Aaron Rodgers to Denver. And with that defense, Aaron Rodgers is a danger to the Bucks. with the Denver Broncos because they are a quarterback away from being a legit playoff team. So I put Denver Broncos as the 4th AFC team. Number 3. Some people are sleeping on them and don't think that they can get all the way to the Super Bowl. I'm not buying it. I truly am not buying it. And they said even with the addition of Julio Jones, but I'm putting the Tennessee Titans right there. Yeah, I think he'll fit in good. Some people don't think it's a good fit. I do. I mean, with Brown and Julio, and here's the thing, Mark, you got Henry back there in the backfield. That dude's a monster. And Tannehill is one of the best red zone quarterbacks. And Julio Jones, Matt Ryan has kind of sucked. He's been on the opposite end with Atlanta in the red zone. Now you go to one of the best red zone quarterbacks in the league, and you got Julio Jones down there. I don't know. That is dangerous, man. You got either Henry trucking it in, or you Brown. Then you got Julio. There's a lot of options in that red zone, and it's going to be a terror for teams in the red zone against this Tennessee Titans team. And I think their defense is going to be better. I'm not going to say it's going to be top 10, but it's going to be middle of the pack with that offense. I think Tennessee's a straight danger. The number 2 AFC team. Look, there's going to be a team that you're going to be like, how could you leave this team off? It's because he can't pass. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, the team that I'm leaving off the list completely, just because I don't believe with him as quarterback. He's a great and awesome quarterback to watch play. It's fun. He reminds me, especially running. He's like Michael Vick. I get it. But Baltimore Ravens with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is just not a good thrower. I mean, please tell me he can. If you all can honestly sit on here and tell me in the playoffs he could throw 4 or 5 games straight with 200 passing yards plus his rushing yards, I'm going to call you a liar, and you better smack yourself because he just cannot throw like that. Yeah, he can give you some games where he throws for 200 and plus rushes for 100, but that's maybe 3 a year. I just don't trust him as a thrower. Hence, the reason why I don't trust the Ravens. But the number 2 team, I kid you not, is Cleveland Browns. I love the additions they made to their defense. I like their. I think this is a team full of weapons, and I think this is the best team Cleveland's had in a very, very long time. I think this team is going to even do better than last year, and I truly believe the Cleveland Browns are going to win their division, not even make the wild card. They're going to flat out win that division from the Ravens, and I see them as a top 2 seed in the AFC. But I don't think the number 1 seed is going to make it to the Super Bowl. That's why they're not on this list. But I also think the team out of the AFC that holds the biggest challenge to the Bucs is the Buffalo Bills. Yes, I said it, not the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm kind of off the KC bandwagon. Their defense started to step back again, and I think that there was holes in their O-line. They act like they fixed their O-line, and I don't think they necessarily did. Yes, I like the one trade that they made from Baltimore to get that O-lineman. I like that one. But here's the thing. They really needed to get 3 studs, not just 1. To me, I don't like the other 2 signings as much as everybody else does. So I think that O-line is gonna have some issues, and I think it's gonna show later on in the year. I think there's gonna be O-line holes. That's why I'm not picking KC. If they addressed all 3 O-line positions if they needed to and put 3 studs, KC would be at the top of the list. They would be the biggest danger. But because of that, that's the biggest, other than quarterback, that's the most important thing you have to have is a solid O line. And I think, honestly, by the end of this year, Kansas City's O line is probably going to be middle of the pack. Whenever they're over here sitting thinking they're going to have a top 5 O line, they're not. I'm just saying they are not. They do not. They do not. And it's going to cost them because Mahomes is going to be under pressure and more than he should. So there's the 8 teams that I got. Do I think that the Buccaneers will repeat? No, I do not. Do I think Tampa Bay even makes it to the Super Bowl? No, I do not. I do not have them as my preseason Super Bowl out of the NFC. But I will tell you, I'll put it this way. This is how confident I am the Bucks won't win or Tom Brady won't win the Super Bowl this year. Cleveland, in my opinion, has a better chance and may even go deeper than the Bucks whenever playoff time comes around. I seriously believe Cleveland could be in the AFC Championship game this year. I shit you not, I kid you not, as weird as that sounds. I truly believe they could be in the AFC Championship game this year. So that's enough with sports today. For you gamers, y'all can check me out on Twitch, Rocky Sports Talk Sheet, all one word, lowercase. Please like and follow. I have a lot of good. Anytime I'm gaming, I am streaming, so y'all can check me out on that. Also, you can check me out on Twitter at Rocky Sports, ROCKEY Sports. You can check me out on Twitter there. And please, also here on this on my YouTube channel here, please do like and subscribe if you like the content. Please, I have a crap ton. Even though we're past the 3 months, going towards 4 months in on YouTube. I have well over 60, 70 videos. There's a lot of great videos that I've had out there. Please go check them out. Again, thank you all for following, and for those of you that continue to follow, it's much appreciated. Thank you very much. But anyways, that is it on today's episode, and I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you all for tuning in. Till next time, peace out, everybody.